So I hope you have as much fun watching this video as I do making it. This is a comparison between two mid-size SUVs. Yes, that is the classification, mid-size SUVs. This is the fully redesigned 2020 Subaru Outback. This is the fully redesigned 2020 Toyota Highlander. I know they're not exactly the same, pretty close. This has seating for 5, this one has seating for 7 or 8, but there are some similarities. There are some advantages that one has over the other. Today we're gonna do some pros and cons and a breakdown, feature for feature, and some other fun stuff along the way. Let's get started. Let's officially begin with trim levels. There are 7 trim levels with our Outback, 2 engine options. New one this year, which I'll talk about. There are only 5 trim levels, only 5, available with the Highlander, but the Highlander does have a hybrid option, and with the 5 trim levels, only 1 engine option. Both these vehicles, by the way, have these arms that come down from the top down versus the down top. So under the hood of the Highlander for 2020 is a 3.5 liter V6 mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Front wheel drive is standard. All wheel drive is optional. We have the all wheel drive in ours. This gets 295 horsepower, 263 pound-feet of torque. Moving on over here to the Subaru, symmetrical all wheel drive, no front wheel drive, symmetrical all-wheel drive, and paired to a CVT. Our tester here has an updated 2.5 liter boxer engine with direct injection paired with Lineartronic CVT. There's also a new 2.4 liter turbocharged boxer engine, 260 horsepower, and that's paired with a high torque Lineartronic CVT. Official horsepower numbers on our tester here, 182, 176 pound-feet of torque. Now here's the big difference, because of the engines obviously. This can tow 2,700 pounds, whereas the Highlander with the 3.5 liter can tow up to 5,000 pounds. I'm curious, does anybody know when or why they started shifting or making more frequently these bars attached to the hood versus down below? I don't know, I just been noticing more recently with some of the cars I've been getting that the arm is on the top, not so much on the bottom. If you know, leave it in the comment section. Thank you. There are some obvious differences visually when you look at both these vehicles, and that is size. So the Highlander is 194.9 inches long, whereas the Outback is 191.3. Obviously, you got 3.5 inches longer with the Highlander. Width-wise, 76 inches, 73 inches. Height-wise, 68.1 inches, 66.4 inches. Just breaking down the numbers for you. I don't know if you noticed from early on when I did the video, but both these vehicles have roof racks. That has 154 pound capacity. This has 150, so basically a push there, but the Outback has versatility with its roof racks. So what you do here, lift the lever, which releases the bar. You can swing it over. Same thing with this side. Hustle up, Dave, people are waiting for you. So swing this one over, and now I can lock these into place crosswise. So you have this option, or as you saw there, this option. Just like that, pretty cool, right? Okay, let's do a breakdown on cargo volume in both these vehicles, beginning with the Outback. So first of all, you have this protective sunshade on ours. This is the touring trim level, by the way, that's the Platinum. So boom, slides up, or bring it down and slide it all the way back. So you're looking at behind this, pretty spacious, 32.5 cubic feet of volume behind that back row. I know Subi fanatics and loyalists will love the durability, and they're gonna be going out of town, they're gonna be getting muddy, they're gonna throw their dog back here, their bikes back here, camping equipment. This is such a cool, wide opening for the cargo in the back of the Subaru. And when you fold down the back row, you get the levers here on either side. So this is a 60-40 split. But when you do fold them down, here's what it looks like. You're looking at now 75.7 cubic feet of volume in a, quote, mid-size SUV, basically a wagon. Not too shabby, don't you think? Here in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you a backseat legroom and demo in both these vehicles, plus what it looks like to have in the back row of the Outback, the middle row of the Highlander, 2 car seats, one front facing and one rear facing with my kids back there. So that's coming up in a second. Now, when I talked about this being a fully redesigned vehicle for 2020, the Highlander, some of the new features was more cargo space. They increased the back area here from 13.8 cubic feet of volume up to 16. So now you've got 16 cubic feet, and just below here, You'll find an extra storage there. They're holding the sun visor or the protective visor along with a jack kit. Now I'm going to fold these down, and when I do, it increases it to 48 cubic feet of volume. Fold down the captain's chairs, in our case, 84.3 cubic feet of volume in the back of this midsize SUV, which obviously is much bigger than the Outback, but you can see now how much room you have to utilize cargo space, longer items, camping equipment, bicycles, dogs, pets, whatever you want in the back of the Highlander. All right, as promised, let's go inside and do a backseat legroom and headroom demo, and we'll begin with the Highlander. I'm a big fan, and so is my wife, of captain's chairs in any vehicle because of the amount of space you have between passengers in the middle row, whether it's for cups, whether it's for diaper bags, a duffel bag, purse, whatever you want to have for refreshments. This seat is all the way back right now. I'm 5'11", this is my position as a driver up front. Of course, this seat does slide forward. It's right here. Now, all the way forward, as far as I can go, of course, I'm up against the back seat, but I'm gonna go all the way back because there's no one behind me. And back, by the way, kid only in the third row of the Highlander. Just not enough room for adults. So there's my room, pretty darn decent. Let's look at the headroom now, which is fantastic, made even better because we have a panoramic sunroof, moonroof in this vehicle, whereas the Outback only has a front sunroof. So this makes a huge difference. When this thing is open, it creates the illusion of more space. Plus you get to see the sky when you're driving, at least back here as a passenger. I really think that's fantastic. Now this is the platinum trim level, so top trim level of all 5 of the Highlander. So we've got 2 USB ports back here along with climate controls. We also have these sun visors here on the windows, which have made a big difference when I'm driving and I have the kids in the back seat. They're stuck in their car seat, they can't move, sun's coming in. This helps keep them from squinting too much and complaining to me that I can't see. So that's right there for the side windows. Now before I show you what it looks like with 2 car seats back here, let's go to the Outback to do a legroom and headroom demo. A little easier to get into this one just because it's a tad bit lower, but still simple enough. Here's my legroom behind the driver's seat. Again, my position as a driver, I'm 5'11". Here's how much room I have between my knees and the back of the seat. Pretty comfortable, no adjustment with the middle row, the back row. It is stationary where you are. Since we have the touring trim level, we have heated options for the passengers in the back row. That's pretty cool. Plus 2, count them, 2 USB ports. So if you have a cable, you got a smartphone or a device, you can plug it in the back seat. And compartments behind both the driver and passenger seat as well. And 1 visor, moonroof, sunroof for the front 2 passengers, not a panoramic one in this car. Headroom is sufficient for me. Had that much room. I know you can't see it very well, but that's how much room I have, and I'm sitting upright in the back seat. Okay, as promised, here's what it looks like for us and my family with 2 car seats in the back of the Outback. You can see my infant car seat there, rear facing with my daughter. As I pull out, you can see how much room there is. Not a ton of room in the center, but sufficient for a diaper bag if I wanted to put one there. I wouldn't advise an adult between the 2 car seats, the front facing and the rear facing, but it's more than sufficient and a comfortable amount of space and easy to get into and maneuver both those car seats. In some cases, if you have, it depends on how big the vehicle is, trying to reach around and find the seat belts, this is very easy, barely an inconvenience to get the car seats in and out, and the kids seem to have plenty of room, and there's still, yes, enough room in the middle for a diaper bag and probably a kid, but not an adult, not really. Now we flip it over to the Highlander. What makes this one a little bit different, of course, is the captain's chairs versus a bench seat. You do have the bench seat option on the Highlander, but not in the top trim level, the platinum, which we have here. It is only a 7-seater with the captain's chairs. So there you go. You got car seat there, car seat on the other seat, and plenty of room in the middle for the diaper bag. There's also cup holders there in the center as well, but plenty of space and more convenient for us. And this is why, one of the reasons why my wife wants to get this vehicle in the captain's chairs configuration versus the 8-person configuration, because you have the space in the middle, and if you really wanted to, you could get back to the third row. Again, that's a kid-only spot, the third row, not best for adults. So now it's time to take a tour of the cabin of each of these vehicles, and in no particular order. I'm just going to go with the Highlander first because it's closer to me. What you'll find new about this vehicle, finally with Toyota and the Highlander, is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are now available. Didn't have it last year, didn't have it the year before. They're finally up to speed, and they've done a great job with this upgraded infotainment system. I love this screen. This, my friends, is a 12.3-inch infotainment screen, high resolution. 8 inches is standard, and I just love everything about this screen. I like the fact that it has knobs, but it also has a touchscreen option. Climate control is on screen, and people were wondering, hey, why don't you show us maybe the bass trim level? This is what the manufacturers give us so they can showcase all their bells and whistles. Heated and ventilated seats, the map for navigation, audio in here. They got JBL sound system. Here's something I really like. They've got 3 USB ports down below. One I think is just for the plugging in of the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Other ones are charging ones. This is even better. Wireless charging pad. This is fantastic, and you can hide it away. Pop it there, which is also Bluetooth, so if you have your phone charging, you can also still use it without it being plugged in with Bluetooth. This is not a game changer, but pretty darn cool. Now, it does have off-road capabilities, different drive modes, sport, normal, and eco, mud and sand, rock and dirt, and normal, snow mode, hill descent control, auto off and on feature to help with fuel economy. Got to have that nowadays. Really smart the way they've configured this, in my opinion. A tray here, a tray there, storage down below here. Again, you got storage underneath this wireless charging pad. Steering wheel mounted controls, pretty straightforward, easy to understand with the volume over here. You got some of your safety features like the lane departure alert, radar cruise control, radar as well. Here on the left, the heated steering wheel option, the automatic lift gate. This view is beautiful. Press that button. You got a 360 view going around the car right now. I've got cameras mounted all around to give you a bird's eye view of what's around your vehicle. Now that's just that part, which is perfect, right? Now I'm gonna pop it in reverse to show you a different view. So you get the 360 bird's eye view on the right-hand side and also the view directly behind you. So there's actually 2 cameras back there on the back. Turn the wheel, the lane lines turn. I think you have to have this because when you're backing into a parking spot, it's nice to know what direction you're going and how you will end up if you maintain that same course. And the lines are color-coded for warnings the closer you get, the colors differently. Okay, and you can go a little more narrow, and then you can go a little bit wider. Here's a safety feature I really like, which helped out recently because I had a car seat in the back, but no one was in it. See that red right there? That lets me know someone's in the seat, that's me, and my seatbelt is not on. Now I had the captain's chairs in the back right, I had a car seat in it, and it noticed that someone was there, but the seatbelt wasn't on. Well, no one was in the cars, so I was fine, but it was a nice little reminder that, oh, okay, you're taking care of me and keeping me aware of who's in the car and who doesn't have their seatbelt on. Seatbelt status, pretty darn smart, I like it a lot. And here's what it looks like finally with the panoramic sunroof opened up. My son loves playing with this. He comes in, he loves pushing buttons and turning on the windshield wipers, the heated seats. He always presses these buttons up there and sees it come all the way back, his eyes get big. Yeah, son, it's a moonroof, panoramic sunroof. He doesn't know what I'm talking about, but maybe he'll be the Everyman driver when I retire in so many years. There you go, that's what that looks like. Fantastic, love it. Now that we're out of the cabin of the Highlander, let's go directly into the cabin of the Outback, see the comparison between the two. One thing that's new this year, which is beautiful and seamlessly integrated into the dash, is this 11.6-inch tablet-style Subaru infotainment screen. It has buttons, it's got touchscreen, but it's a little bit challenging to find everything you want immediately. You have to kind of dig deep into the controls. Well, I'll show you what I mean. First of all, this is one of the most colorful screens I've seen in a long time. I really like the way it looks. I mean, it's simple to understand. The icons and logos are big. It's a slider. You do have to dig a little bit. Like, for example, here is the climate controls. Short delay, not that bad if you get used to it. Up here, I press that goes to, see, now this is where I get a little confused sometimes with the radio. Now I'm lost already, see? I'm gonna try to go to the radio, slide over, now I'll go to radio. Okay, Cool. Look at all the different, how beautiful it's displayed there and easy to understand. Took me a second to remind myself where to get there, but now you can see it. Now, one of the things that's a little challenging, it has the automatic start-stop feature like the other car does. Where is it? Vehicle controls, X mode for off-roading. Do I want it on or off? Auto vehicle hold, steering responsive highlight, driver assistance, it's not there, pre-collision braking, lane departure, blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert. It's actually under other. There is the auto start stop. That's the car kind of dies down to save on fuel when you come to a stop for a few seconds. Well, I have to go there and turn it off. Isn't that interesting? It's a little bit, you have to find it, which is, I mean, once you get this to be your car, it'll make sense, but that's where it is. Otherwise, Subaru Starlink, you can plug your phone in for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is great. They've got USB ports down here. There is no wireless charging pad as opposed to the Highlander. Now we do have a different view camera. Let's say I pop it in reverse. You know what this looks like, right? So pop in reverse, and you can see directly behind me, these lane lines do move with the steering wheel, which is great, as showcased before. Now, I'll pop it into park. Now, look at this view. Press this button, and now I get a front view as opposed to a rear view. So front view versus reverse. It would be kind of cool if both of them were on screen, right? Back to park, press the button for view, and there's my front. But it would be kind of neat utilizing the space for both front and back. Nice large map thanks to the larger screen. Back to my menu. You can pick locations to go to for your navigation. Go back to the home screen. Media cart information. Stats, advanced package maintenance. I'm gonna go back to the X mode and turn it on and see how that changes things for us. This is good to get acquainted with your vehicle by going through these options here. Blind spot monitor, automatic high beams, maintenance. This is a brand new car, so I don't really have any issues for me, but when it's time for yours, you can see them all right there. There's some fun safety features when driving this car. Right now, my foot is on the brake. You can see the car image there with the brake lights on. I'll take my foot off the brake, and they go off. This is also keeping track of your drowsiness, whether or not you're paying attention to the road. It's got the lane departure alerts. Here's a demo of that when I was going down the road today to showcase this. So the lines light up on the left and the right. It tells you to put your hand on the steering wheel if you're not paying attention. Great safety feature. Basically, you can drive without touching the steering wheel. I'm not advising that, but it kind of is a warning and a reminder. Hey, pay attention, Dave. You're veering left and right. I want you to put your hands on the steering wheel. Yes, Subaru, I will. Thank you for the reminder. Steering wheel mounted controls here on the Outback. Paddle shifters up on top. You've got the heated steering wheel down here on the right as opposed to the left on the Highlander. Radar cruise control, the steering assist, Bluetooth, volume control for the radio. And like the Highlander, we have the liftgate button here on the left side of the steering wheel. Here under the armrest, I don't know if any of you are familiar with these things. CD player, if you want to pop in music, it's right there. Who uses that anymore? I don't even have any CDs. The Subaru has made good use of the space just below here. You got a little ledge for storage. Storage into that spot, a couple cup holders, of course, side doors, nice cabin. It's a pretty comfortable place to be. It's not as cramped as you might think it would be, at least compared to the Highlander. And here is our moonroof, sunroof in the Outback. Straightforward, they don't have a panoramic, not in this case, but you do have the better roof racks on this than you do with the Highlander. Everything's a give and take. Now, I don't mind giving my driving impressions, but I really like to leave that up to you because everyone has their specific preferences. But I found the Highlander to be a smoother, easier ride, softer, going around town, both highway and around town. This seemed a little bit louder, not much louder, but Definitely the Highlander was a quieter ride. Both were decent. This has a higher ground clearance, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that yet. 8.7 inches versus the 8 inches on the Highlander. So maybe that's partly why this feels like an easier ride, because I'm a little lower to the ground as opposed to higher up here in the Outback. Either way, they're both comfortable, simple. My wife loves driving the Highlander because she likes how smooth it is, how easy it is to maneuver into parking lots. And speed-wise, this has, of course, a little bit more power, and it gets up to speed better than this one. And with the Subaru, you got the CVT, so it's going to take a few seconds to get up there. But when it comes to driving, I think the Highlander has the edge. Here's something people probably don't show you a lot, well, at least when they have two vehicles: key fobs. Here's what they look like. So Toyota here, Subaru there, almost identical. Actually, just the opposite. They're flipped. And then the back sides. You know, I think the Subaru key looks a lot better than the Toyota key. Toyota key looks really generic, whereas at least Subaru has its emblem on the front. Although I guess the Toyota is on the back as well. Okay, last but not least, the base MSRP range on these two vehicles. With the Outback, you're looking at a starting price right around 29 grand up to 40 grand across the trim levels. Here with the Highlander, 35 grand basically for a beginning MSRP, up to $49,000 for the top trim level, not including the hybrid. So you're starting $5,000 more on the base, and on the top trim level versus top trim level, $10,000 more. You're getting a bigger vehicle. You're getting more seats over here. You can't really go off-road as confidently in the Highlander as you can with the Subaru. And this has got symmetrical all-wheel drive as standard, whereas you go front wheel or all-wheel drive, depends on what you want. Which one are you interested in most? Both mid-size SUVs, even though this is a wagon. I know classification is mid-size, and that's why I thought it was a bit interesting to do a comparison between these, breaking it down by numbers, do some demos inside, showing, you know, spec for spec, feature for feature. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Which one do you like better? Is the extra money worth it for this one? Do you like the durability and the reputation that Subaru has? They both have great reputations. It's all coming down to what fits your needs, right? Okay, that's it for me. I have links below this video to all of my Toyota and Subaru videos in the past. Take a look at those if you're still shopping. Thanks very much. Adios. One more thing before you go, I've added links in the description below to some of the best-selling automotive accessories and products on Amazon right now, plus links to some of the product reviews I've done. You can find it in the description below this video. And if you don't mind, take a couple of seconds and click that subscribe button. I'm uploading 2, 3, sometimes 4 new videos every week, and I don't want you to miss anything, plus it helps support my channel. As always, if you have any constructive criticism, thoughts, or suggestions about my video, please leave it in the comment section below.